Hey, it's Mark here, and welcome to the next edition of the Employee Survival Guide, where I tell you, as always, what your employer does definitely not want you to know about, and a lot more.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really plunging into a fascinating set of legal documents. Could be challenging, too.
Definitely.
We're talking about an age discrimination lawsuit.
Yeah.
And it's against a name you'll absolutely recognize. The global retailer, IKEA.
Right. Big name.
For this deep dive, we've gone through, well, quite a bit. There's a detailed legal complaint from the employee, the plaintiff.
Yep.
Then there's IKEA's official response to all that. And this is pretty key, a very recent court filing. Just landed last week, August 6th, 2025.
Yeah, that last one changes things a bit. So our mission today really is to unpack these serious claims the employee made.
Okay.
Understand how IKEA pushed back, what their side was, and then, reveal the, surprising end to the case.
Surprising how?
We'll get to that. The goal really is just to pull out the key nuggets from all these, dense legal docs. Give you a shortcut so you're up to speed on this specific situation.
Okay, let's dive in then. We're looking at Brandon Payne versus IKEA. Now, Payne was, 48 at the time this kicked off?
That's right, 48. And a long-term employee, not someone new.
Right. And his core claim is pretty direct. He's basically saying IKEA has this corporate culture, an actual culture, that openly prefers younger employees. And he says this hit his career hard, denied promotions, even got demoted.
Yeah, and what's really striking here, I think, is that the complaint, it doesn't just focus on Payne himself.
Okay.
It tries to paint this picture of a much broader issue. Systemic,
systemic age bias.
Exactly. The second admitted complaint, the specific document, it talks about age-biased personnel goals.
Wow.
An openly expressed preference for younger people as future leaders. Even claims there were actual directives sent out to stores nationwide.
Directives say what?
To hire younger people into certain roles. The complaint even alleges IKEA put out job ads, openly seeking young talent, and that their promotion process tracks and considers employee ages.
That's very explicit, if true. Can you give us a really concrete example, something specific from the complaint about this alleged culture?
Absolutely. So the complaint alleges, for instance, that if a store lost someone from its management team, the store's steering group, the directive, was to fill that spot with someone under 35.
Under 35, specific age cap.
Right. It even claims these goals, having a certain number of younger managers, were put in writing by IKEA's U.S. Strategic Human Resources Committee.
In writing.
Allegedly, yes.
Yeah.
And sent out to every store in the U.S. Now, sometimes they apparently framed it using other words.
Like what?
Like age distribution goals, or maybe succession potential, or even diversity.
So using words like potential or diversity, but maybe the allegation is with an age target behind them.
That's precisely the question it raises. How does that internal company language, which might sound neutral or even positive, actually function if there are underlying age goals? It's a tricky area.
Yeah, definitely. The complaint also mentions something called Organization for Growth, or O4G. What was that about, according to Payne?
Okay, so O4G. The plaintiff describes it as this big reorganization effort by IKEA US. And he claims its main goal was basically to push older employees out of management, either by firing them, demoting them, or, effectively forcing them out.
How would they force them out?
Well, the complaint alleges that through O4G, employees got new jobs, right? But these jobs only had base pay protection for a limited time until the end of 2018.
Okay. And after that?
After that date, if your new job was at a lower pay grade, boom, your pay got cut. The plaintiff calls this whole thing a scheme intended to harm older employees.
Okay, let's get more personal then. Brandon Payne's own story, he started back in 2004, right? He was 34.
Yep, February 2004.
And by 2006, age 36, he's a shopkeeper. Complaint says his performance was good, satisfactory, or better.
Correct. Recognized performance. He even stepped up as an interim sales leader planner at one point, which was a step up from shopkeeper.
So things were going okay, but then O4G hits.
Exactly. Despite that positive track record, things allegedly changed. October 2017, part of this O4G thing we just discussed, his shopkeeper job gets, demoted to an active selling leader role.
A demotion. And what did that mean financially for him?
Big impact, according to the complaint. After that pay protection ran out, January 1st, 2019, his hourly wage dropped by over $10 an hour.
Over $10 an hour? That's significant.
It really is. And Payne claims IKEA told him the reason was just, realignment of job functions to be more competitive.
Standard corporate language, maybe?
Right. But he alleges that was just a pretext, a cover story. The real reason, he claims, was his age.
But you said his performance was still good, even after the demotion.
That's what makes it compelling, yeah. His 2018 performance review after the 04G change apparently still praised him, said he had so many great qualities as an IKEA leader, passionate, fiercely loyal to his team.
So despite the demotion and the pay cut, he keeps trying to get promoted.
He does. He keeps applying. And this is really central to his individual claim. Can you walk us through some of those applications? What happened?
Sure. The complaint lists quite a few. Let's see. May 2017, he's 47. Applies for sales leader, sales planner. Rejected. The complaint alleges 4 substantially younger, less qualified employees got picked instead. Ages 26, 27, 28, 28.
Oh, all in their 20s.
Then December 2017 applies for the same role again. Rejected again in Feb 2018. Complaint says a 30-year-old, Audrey Bates, got it, and Payne claims he was better qualified.
Okay, another younger person.
June 2018 applies for active selling manager in Texas. Rejected. A 30-year-old, Jeffrey Borlick, gets it. The complaint points out Borlick had 4 years with IKEA. Payne had about 14.
14 years versus 4. That's a big difference in experience.
Then August 2018, active selling manager again, this time Norfolk, Virginia, rejected September 2018. And this one has a specific conversation attached to it.
Oh, tell me about that.
Payne apparently had a call with the customer experience manager, Tiffin Moore, and Moore allegedly told him that since active selling was a new role, IKEA wanted someone with new and innovative ideas, and they'd probably hire an external candidate.
Implying internal, older candidates weren't bringing new ideas.
That's how Payne took it. He stated he understood this to mean that IKEA considers an employee's age, and that it wanted to hire someone younger, and they did hire an external person.
Interesting conversation. Any more rejections listed?
Yep. December 2018, sales clan manager in Texas. Rejected Jan 2019. Complaint says a 31-year-old got it. Payne claims he was at least as, if not more, qualified.
Another one in their early 30s.
January 2019, active selling manager in San Diego. Rejected March 2019. Complaint says Ryan Stone in his 30s got it. Again, Payne felt he was equally or more qualified.
Okay.
And then, believe it or not, April 2019, he applies again for that same active selling manager job in Norfolk, Virginia.
The one with the new ideas comment.
That's the one. Rejected again in May 2019.
So a clear pattern of applications and rejections, always, allegedly, in favor of younger candidates. Were there other things mentioned? Beyond just the promotion denials?
Yes, the complaint also details alleged comments and conduct by management, specifically at the IKEA New Haven store.
Like what kind of comments?
For example, one manager allegedly asked an older job applicant during an interview for a promotion if she was thinking about retiring soon.
Oof. That's true.
Yeah. Another allegation, the HR manager there, Jacqueline Deschamps, apparently said that every store needed to hire a management steering member under age 30.
Again, that explicit under 30 target.
And the store manager, Christoph Stein, allegedly asked Payne himself why he'd waited so long in his career to apply for jobs leading leaders.
Implying he was too old to be starting that path now.
That seems to be the implication Payne drew. The complaint also just generally states several older employees have recently been demoted or pushed out from that store. So it's building a picture.
Okay, a really detailed picture from the plaintiff's side. So what did IKEA say? How did they respond to all these very specific, very serious allegations?
Right. The company's defense, we looked at their answer document and the short version. For almost every single claim about age discrimination, denied. Flat out. They admitted some basic facts, sure. Like, yes, Brandon Payne worked for us. Yes, this is his birth year. Yes, this is his current job. Yes, he applied for these other jobs and didn't get them.
But not because of his age.
Exactly. They admitted the facts of what happened, but denied the discriminatory why. Like the pay cut after 04G, they admitted his pay went down.
Okay.
But they denied it was a demotion because of age, and they denied their stated reason the realignment thing was just a pretext.
So sticking to their guns that it was legitimate business reasons, not age.
Pretty much. So if we look at their overall legal strategy, what does that tell us? What were their main lines of defense?
Well, stepping back, their defenses section in the answer is quite revealing. They hit several key points.
Okay.
First, just a blanket denial of any intent to discriminate against Payne, explicitly stated.
Right.
Second, they claimed all their actions were taken in good faith. They believed they were following the law.
Standard defense? Maybe.
Fairly standard, yeah. Third, and importantly, they argued their decisions were based on reasonable factor or factors other than age. RFOA, it's sometimes called.
Meaning
basically something else explains the decision, maybe qualifications, interview performance, business needs, whatever. Anything but age.
Got it.
They also argued Payne couldn't prove age was the but-for cause. That's a high legal standard. It means he'd have to show that but for his age, the decision would have been different. Not just that age was a factor, but the deciding factor.
Okay. That sounds tough to prove.
It can be. And interestingly, they also raise a defense saying, essentially, if Payne didn't use IKEA's internal anti-discrimination policy and complaint procedure properly,
then his lawsuit fails.
Then his claims fail, yes.
Yeah.
So kind of putting the onus back on him to use the internal system first. It's a multi-pronged defense strategy.
Okay. Now, you mentioned earlier this wasn't the only case like this against IKEA. The complaint referenced others.
That's right, yeah. It wasn't just Payne's isolated experience, according to his own filing.
What did it say?
The complaint details that since early 2018, at least 5 other current or former IKEA U.S. employees had filed their own age discrimination lawsuits.
5 others.
Yeah.
In different courts.
Yeah, various U.S. district courts.
Yeah.
And alleging similar things, patterns of age bias. Cases like D'Onofrio v. IKEA and Antonelli Jr. v. IKEA.
And why include those in Payne's complaint?
Well, the argument is that citing these other lawsuits helps support the idea that this wasn't just about one person, but possibly a systemic age discrimination issue or a pattern or practice across the company. It adds weight to the broader claims.
Right, strengthens the culture of biases argument. Okay, so that brings us to the really recent news, the filing from just last week. What happened?
Yeah, this is the big development. We got this letter filed with the court August 6, 2025, very recent. And it states pretty clearly that with Judge Ritter's assistance, the issues between the parties in the above-captioned cases have settled.
Settled. Okay. But you said cases, plural.
Exactly. That's the key thing here. This letter, this settlement, it wasn't just for Brandon Payne's lawsuit.
It included the others, too.
It included several others, including those D'Onofrio, Antonelli, and another one, Branson, that were mentioned earlier. Multiple cases, all wrapped up together.
So a global settlement, almost. What did they ask the court to do?
The parties jointly requested that the court enter an order dismissing each action with prejudice.
With prejudice, that means.
That's crucial. It means the cases are permanently closed. They cannot be brought back to court again. It's final.
So no trial, no verdict. They reached an agreement outside of court covering multiple lawsuits.
Precisely. A resolution through settlement, likely confidential terms, that puts an end to this whole batch of litigation. It often suggests a strategic move by the company to avoid the risks and costs of continued fighting, even if they don't admit any wrongdoing.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. What does this all mean for you listening? We've gone deep into some really serious claims of age bias. We followed one specific employee's story, his alleged demotion, the promotion denials. We saw IKEA's pretty firm denials across the board.
Consistent denials, yeah.
And now, just last week, a settlement. Not just for him, but for several similar cases.
Right. So if you connect all those dots, you have this pattern of claims from multiple employees. You have the company pushing back hard with denials and legal defenses. And then ultimately you get this confidential settlement covering multiple suits.
So what's the takeaway from that?
Well, it really brings up a critical question for any large organization, doesn't it? Beyond the obvious legal bills, what are the sort of hidden costs when a company faces repeated claims like this?
You mean like reputation, morale?
Exactly. What's the impact on employee morale, on how the public sees the company, on trust within the company? Even if they settle without admitting fault, these things can linger. It really highlights that tightrope walk companies have to manage.
Between what?
Between making organizational changes, developing talent, staying competitive, but doing it all in a way that's fair and legally compliant, especially around sensitive issues like age.
Yeah, a lot to think about there. Definitely a powerful look inside how these big legal fights can play out. This deep dive certainly paints a clearer picture of those dynamics.
If you like the Employee Survival Guide, I'd really encourage you to leave a review. We try really hard to produce information to you that's informative, that's timely, that you can actually use and solve problems on your own and at your employment. So if you'd like to leave a review anywhere you listen to our podcast, please do so. And leave 5 stars, because anything less than 5 is really not as good, right? I'll keep it up. I'll keep the standards up. I'll keep the information flowing at you. If you'd like to send me an email and ask me a question, I'll actually review it and post it on there. You can send it to mcarey@capclaw.com. That's capclaw.com.